My child, I did not create you to chase approval. I created you to carry my authority. You've been shrinking yourself to fit into places I never sent you. You've been apologizing for your fire, your voice, your anointing. But I didn't make you timid. I made you bold. I've hidden power in your words, purpose in your scars, and miracles in your steps. Today I call you out of the shadows. You were never meant to blend in. You were made to stand out with my glory resting upon you. Stop questioning your worth and start believing what I already declared. You are chosen, appointed, and unstoppable with me. Yes, child, I see how long you've tried to stay small, just to make others comfortable. You've silenced your roar when I was the one who placed it inside your spirit. You've dimmed your light to avoid attention, not realizing I didn't call you to be hidden. I called you to be radiant. This world has tried to tame your voice, but I am restoring its sound. No more rehearsing fear when I have written faith into the rhythm of your soul. You keep trying to earn what I've already given. Why do you search for applause when I have already crowned you with my favor? You don't need their permission to rise, I've already commanded it. I've marked you with an authority that can't be voted on or taken away. You don't have to lower your volume to be accepted. You don't have to water down your calling just to survive a room that wasn't built for your destiny. I know what they said about you. I know how they made you feel like you were too much, too loud, too intense, too different. But what they called too much is exactly what I designed for my purpose. That fire in your bones, that's me. That strength you try to suppress, that's my spirit. And that courage that wakes you up in the middle of the night whispering, there's more. Yes, child, that's me breaking through the limits others placed around your life. You've been dressing your soul in silence, wearing shame like it belongs to you. But today, I come to remind you, nothing about your design was accidental. Every part of your being, from your passion to your persistence, was carefully woven by my hands for such a time as this. You were not made to play small roles in other people's stories. You were made to walk in authority, to speak with weight, to shift atmospheres when you enter a room, not because of who you are, but because of who I am in you. Don't let their rejection convince you to reject yourself. Their discomfort with your calling is not your problem to solve. The oil I poured on your life was never up for debate. Stop editing your personality to fit into environments I never authored. You keep praying for open doors, but I'm asking you to stop knocking where I never sent you. The places that overlooked you weren't rejecting you, they were protecting you. I'm not building you for popularity. I'm building you for purpose. There's a boldness I buried in your belly for this very moment, a holy defiance that refuses to settle for what's safe. You don't belong in cages, you belong in callings. You weren't made to chase influence. You were created to carry presence. You weren't built to blend in with culture. You were formed to confront it with truth and carry the fragrance of heaven into places that have forgotten how to breathe. They tried to quiet you because they feared what you carried. But child, you are not an echo of their opinions. You are a voice. And that voice was trained in the wilderness, sharpened in obscurity, refined through fire, and released now for my glory. You think you're waiting on a platform, but I've been building your foundation in secret. I didn't forget you. I've been preparing you, because when you step into what's next, no one will be able to say you made it on your own. It will be undeniable that my hand was upon you. You've hidden long enough. You've questioned yourself long enough. You've bowed to fear, begged for belonging, and tolerated lies that never belonged to you. But I'm flipping the script now. I'm breaking the cycle. I'm speaking life into the parts of you that have been buried beneath performance and people-pleasing. You weren't made to survive off crumbs of validation. You were created to feast on the fullness of my presence. Do you feel it stirring in you yet? That fire returning to your chest? That hunger to walk in what you almost gave up on? That's me, child. I never walked away. I've been waiting for you to stop playing small and start walking tall, because I placed heaven's blueprint in your spirit, and the world needs what I put in you. This is not the season to shrink. This is the hour to stand tall. My authority is not borrowed. It is yours because you are mine. And I'm not calling you into safety. I'm calling you into glory. You keep asking me for signs, for clarity, for one more confirmation. But child, my voice is not weak, and my word has not changed. I already called you out. I already placed my seal on you. I already ignited what hell has been trying to smother. You are not waiting on another signal. You are standing at the edge of divine release, and now I am pushing you forward with my breath. This hesitation you've been living in isn't humility. It's bondage. You're not being careful. You're being caged. And I didn't endure the cross to see you live in chains of insecurity, wrapped in doubt, buried beneath the noise of lesser voices. You think you're being wise by hiding, but wisdom doesn't wear fear like a cloak. Wisdom walks in fire with faith. I made you to stand in boldness, not shrink into silence. Every time you've swallowed your truth just to keep peace, I've felt it. Every moment you've withheld your voice to avoid offense, I've seen it. But child, I never told you to become less just to make others feel like more. The gift I gave you was never meant to be edited. It was meant to confront, to awaken, to carry heaven's weight in a world that has forgotten what holy authority sounds like. I called you loud on purpose. I made you passionate on purpose. I wired your spirit with urgency and fire, not because you're dramatic, but because I placed the call of a breaker on your life. You were born to shift atmospheres. You carry the sound of freedom even when you don't feel qualified. And that's what terrifies the enemy, because you don't even see the magnitude of what's inside you yet. But I do. I see the battles you've survived silently, the nights you cried on the floor because you felt too much but couldn't explain it. That fire, that ache, that burden you carry, it's not emotional confusion. It's prophetic purpose. It's the sound of your soul remembering why I created you. And child, the world doesn't need another imitation. It needs your authenticity soaked in my authority. You've been told to wait your turn. You've been advised to tone it down, to grow a little more, to earn your place. But I say, the time is now. Not when you feel perfect, not when you're applauded, but now, in your rawness, in your wrestle, in your wondering. Because I do my best work through the ones who stop trying to polish their strength and start surrendering their weakness. I've seen you make yourself smaller so others wouldn't feel insecure around your calling. But hear me, beloved. Your job is not to shrink to fit comfort zones. I called you to grow beyond them. They can adjust to what I'm doing in you, or they can step aside. But you will no longer betray your design to keep others at peace. You will no longer bury your gifts in graves of false humility. What I placed in you was meant to be revealed, not protected, not polished, but revealed in all its wild, heaven-born brilliance. You're not just anointed for comfort, you're anointed for confrontation. The spiritual kind, the holy kind, the kind that wakes dead places, tears down lies, and rebuilds with truth. You think you're just surviving, but I've actually been training you to walk in rooms and overthrow atmospheres with a whisper. Not because of volume, but because of weight. My weight, my glory, my name branded on your voice like thunder in still air. Stop asking me to remove your fire. I'm the one who lit it. Stop apologizing for the way you feel my presence. I'm the one who placed my spirit within you. Stop hiding when I called you to arise. There's no crown in hiding. There's no glory in shrinking. You don't serve a God who tucks away his chosen. You serve the one who splits seas and shakes nations and sends the weak to confound the wise. And child, that includes you. You say, but God, what if they don't receive me? I say, what if I didn't send you for them to receive? You were sent to reveal. You weren't made for mass approval. You were made for divine disruption. Stop waiting to be celebrated and start walking as if heaven already approves, because I do. I already danced over you before they knew your name. I already affirmed your identity before they had an opinion, and I will keep backing you, even when they walk away. Do you not yet understand the kind of authority I've placed on your life? It's not the kind that waits for applause. It's the kind that causes demons to tremble when you speak. It's not the kind that needs validation. It's the kind that shifts nations through whispered obedience. You were created to carry me, not convince them. You were made to release heaven, not replicate culture. And you, yes, you, are the vessel I chose for this hour. Not someone louder, not someone more polished, not someone safer. You. So come out of hiding, child. Take your place. This world doesn't need more echoes. It needs your sound. You keep thinking you're still being tested, but child, you're not in a test. You're in a transfer. I'm shifting weight into your words. I'm increasing volume in your spirit. The world tried to downgrade your purpose to a personality trait. But what you carry isn't a mood, it's a mantle. And I'm awakening it now. Not someday. Not eventually. Now. You've grown used to rooms that couldn't hold you. You've been conditioned to believe that your quietness was holiness, that your silence was obedience, that your invisibility was humility. But I didn't make you invisible. I made you marked. And when something is marked by heaven, it doesn't need to announce itself. It shifts everything it touches. The pain you've carried isn't a disqualification, it's a consecration. You've been through fire not to burn but to blaze. And now the blaze is beginning. You thought the fire was against you, but child, the fire was me. I've been refining you, melting away every counterfeit version you were taught to wear, burning through every lie that ever told you to sit down, stay quiet, play safe. You were never meant to walk silently through destiny. You were never meant to follow trails others carved. I called you to create roads where none existed, to tear through ceilings, to challenge patterns, to carry the wild, undiluted force of my spirit into places that forgot what holiness feels like. You think you're misunderstood, but you've simply been ahead of your time. Every scar you carry is a seal of survival. Every tear you shed was a seed I caught. You've thought your sensitivity made you fragile, but it's the very proof that your heart is still soft enough to hear me. And in a world numb with noise, I choose the ones who still feel. I choose the ones who don't harden in the storm. I choose the ones who still cry in my presence, even after they've been betrayed by people who used my name. Don't tell me you're not ready. I've already clothed you with readiness. I've been whispering identity over you in the quiet. I've been singing strength into you while you slept. I've been reordering your steps when you thought you were lost, and now I'm roaring over you, not to scare you, but to call the lion out of you. You've heard too many voices trying to tame you, but I am not here to tame you. I'm here to release you. You've been measuring yourself with the wrong rulers. Approval, status, position. Child, none of these things define your authority. I do. I gave it to you when no one was looking. I called you when you were still in pieces. I laid my hand on your life when the world thought you were disqualified. So why would you keep asking for permission when I've already given you my yes? I've assigned you to realms that others will never understand. That's why they couldn't affirm you. That's why they resisted your rise. They weren't wrong. They just weren't right for your next. Some rooms were never meant to fit you. Some platforms were too shallow for the depth I've carved into your being. Stop grieving what I never gave. Stop weeping over doors I myself shut to protect your oil. You carry a voice that wakes the sleeping. You carry a presence that shifts the unseen. You carry a fire that reminds darkness it doesn't win. That is why you've been fought so hard. Not because you are weak, but because you're dangerous to hell. Your life is not casual. Your steps are not random. Your assignments are not ordinary. I've woven eternity into your bones, and now, I'm calling it forth. Don't try to fit into systems I've called you to overthrow. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to blaze through. I didn't place you in this generation to adapt. I placed you here to arise, to carry my name like thunder in fragile places, to shake structures that forgot how to bow, to breathe life into dry lands and remind graves that resurrection still has a voice. Yes, you feel different. Yes, you feel alone sometimes. But that's not evidence of rejection. It's confirmation of distinction. You've been set apart, not to be elevated by man, but to be revealed by me. I've kept you hidden not because I forgot you, but because I've been forming you into something holy, something weighty, something unstoppable. And now the veil is tearing. Do not apologize for your presence. Do not edit your passion. Do not silence your sound. There's a divine eruption coming from within you, and I won't let it be muzzled anymore. You've been entrusted with revelation too heavy for shallow minds. You've been carrying vision too deep for surface rooms. That ache you feel isn't a burden, it's a blueprint. That restlessness you feel isn't anxiety, it's alignment. You're not just chosen, you're activated. You've been sitting in waiting rooms I never placed you in, listening for voices I never authorized, and asking questions I already answered with your very breath. Child, you don't need another open door. You are the door I'm about to move through. You are the storm the enemy didn't expect. You are the shift that's coming to rooms that forgot how to reverence my name. The world won't always understand how you carry both fire and tenderness. They'll try to label you too intense because your spirit won't bow to shallow things. But don't you dare confuse their discomfort with your disobedience. Their silence is not my silence. Their rejection is not my removal. I'm not backing away from you. I'm backing you up with heaven's force. The places you felt overlooked were not accidental. I hid you in plain sight for a season, so your strength could mature without interference. I let them ignore your voice so you'd learn how to recognize mine. I let doors close not to punish you, but to prevent you from pouring out what was meant to be preserved for a divine unveiling. And that unveiling has begun. The shadows you've lived in are now breaking open. Not so you can be seen, but so I can be revealed through you. You didn't survive the storm just to return to normal. I brought you through it to emerge with authority. That wilderness you cursed, it was the womb where your voice was reborn. That silence you hated, it was the sacred training ground where I taught your spirit to war without shouting, to discern without doubting, to carry weight without needing a crowd. I taught you how to walk unseen and still shift everything. Don't mistake this moment for something common. You are not where you were, you are not who you were. And you will never again wear the mask of approval chasing. You are not made for applause. You were made for alignment. You are not anointed to play roles. I appointed you to break chains. That oil on your life is not for decoration, it's for destruction. Destruction of lies, destruction of cycles, destruction of everything that told you, you're too much. I made you too much on purpose. I made you overflow because I never called you to just fill a space. I called you to flood it. You carry weight that can't be explained, only experienced. When you walk into a room, atmosphere shifts, not because of who sees you, but because of who sent you. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are a response from heaven to a generation drowning in noise. And I'm not asking you to go back and fit in. I'm calling you to go forward and stand out, to speak when others fall silent, to burn when others settle, to move when others freeze. Stop trying to shrink your steps to match the rhythm of people I never called to run with you. You're not lagging behind, you're simply carrying something heavier. But child, I've trained your spirit to carry fire without burning out. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. The rejection you endured wasn't evidence of failure, it was the protection of purity. I couldn't allow their fingerprints on what I was shaping in you. That silence that haunted you wasn't abandonment, it was alignment. I've been aligning your soul with something eternal, something unshakable, something so rooted in me that not even the fiercest storm can uproot what I've planted in you. You've been trying to go back to what's familiar, but I've already changed your spiritual DNA. You no longer fit in the cages you once called home. You can't blend in where I've branded you. You can't shrink where I've marked expansion. I've built you with layers this world hasn't seen yet. And now, those layers are unfolding. There's a sound that's been trapped in your chest, a roar that's been buried under years of being told to wait, to sit down, to be nice. But I didn't call you to be tame. I called you to be a storm of glory, a carrier of my presence, a mover of mountains, a child who doesn't need to scream to be heard, because even in your stillness, heaven shakes. And I know it's terrifying to be seen after years of hiding. I know it's uncomfortable to carry weight when you've been trained to stay light. But I didn't create you for comfort. I created you for impact. I didn't call you to blend. I called you to burn. And now, I'm fanning the flame inside you. So rise, not with fear, but with fury. Not with doubt, but with dominion. Because you are not merely called, you are commissioned. Not just gifted, but trusted. Not just seen, but backed by the very breath of the Almighty. You are my voice in this hour, and I am not whispering anymore. Child, the mantle you carry didn't come from man. It came from the secret place where you wrestled, wept, waited, and didn't walk away. That silence where no one clapped for you? I was there. That night when your voice broke beneath the weight of rejection? I held it. And in that furnace of loneliness, I forged something the world couldn't touch. A consecration not made of titles or applause, but born of surrender and scars. They saw your surface, but I saw your stretch. I saw the way you kept showing up when you wanted to disappear. I saw how you carried callings like thorns in your chest. I saw you stand in rooms that weren't built to hold the magnitude of your spirit. And even then you didn't curse me. Even then you didn't quit. And for that, child, I am about to unveil what I've been storing for you in silence. You're not behind. You're hidden. You're not forgotten. You're being fortified. The tension you feel is not failure, it's expansion. The pressure is not punishment. It's proof that heaven is pushing something through you that can't be birthed in ease. You've cried over being misunderstood. But child, they were never meant to understand what I've only revealed to you. What you carry isn't explainable, it's prophetic. It's costly. And now it's being released. You will no longer camouflage what I called to shine. You will no longer dilute my oil just to feel safe in shallow waters. I didn't call you to survive in puddles. I designed you to part oceans. I'm not asking you to adjust anymore. I'm asking you to advance. I'm not asking you to explain yourself to people who weren't in the room when I anointed you. You owe no apology for walking in what I authored. They won't always like it. They'll label your boldness rebellion, your fire emotionalism, your discernment overthinking. But I've never needed the majority to move. I only need your yes. I only need your obedience when no one claps, your surrender when no one sees, your persistence when the way forward is soaked in fog. And child, you've done that. You've passed tests no one knew you were taking. And now, I'm placing something on your words. Not charisma, weight. Not charm, power. Not volume, authority. The kind of authority that doesn't demand attention, but commands atmospheres to shift. The kind of anointing that doesn't require a microphone to break chains. The kind of presence that carries my fragrance even when you say nothing at all. That's why your journey couldn't look like theirs. That's why I had to separate you. That's why you couldn't stay comfortable in circles that only tolerated you but never truly saw what was in you. They loved your humility but feared your calling. They accepted your presence but resisted your purpose. But you were never created to be palatable. You were created to be prophetic. You were never called to be agreeable. You were called to be activated. So stop shrinking when your very DNA was wired to shift things. Stop apologizing when the room gets heavy. You brought the weight. Stop waiting for their green light. I already turned yours on. Heaven has already sent the signal. The trumpet has already blown. And you, child, are no longer a bystander to your own destiny. You are a force of divine intention. You've cried over timing. You've begged me to hurry. But I have been far more interested in preparing your capacity than performing your calendar. I didn't withhold elevation. I protected you from exposure. I didn't delay your assignment. I refined your foundation. Because what I'm about to do through you cannot crumble under insecurity. What I'm about to build through your life must be anchored in the unshakable truth. You are mine, not theirs, not culture's, not even your own version of who you thought you had to be. You are mine, and I'm reclaiming every piece of you that shame tried to dismantle, every inch of your identity that trauma tried to distort, every sound, every strength, every step that fear tried to erase. I'm restoring it now with fire. Not a gentle candlelight. No. I'm giving you back your roar. I'm giving you back your stance. I'm giving you back the fierce, holy boldness that hell tried to strangle out of your lungs. You are not just stepping into purpose. You are becoming the collision between obedience and fire. You are what surrender looks like when it's been seasoned in the wilderness and called forth in divine timing. And now, the hour has come. So open your mouth. Stand your ground. Take your place. The shadows can't hold you anymore. Your hiding has expired. Because what I placed in you is no longer waiting. It's rising. Child, you've been waiting for the moment to feel brave before moving. But bravery isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And I've already placed within you every ounce of courage needed for this assignment. What you think you lack, I already filled. What you fear you'll miss, I've already gone ahead of. You don't need to become more. You need to remember what I already called you. The crown wasn't placed on your head when they accepted you. It was set there when you were still in the valley, with tear-stained cheeks and trembling hands. I anointed you in private, so I could trust you in public. I buried glory in the cracks of your story, and now I'm calling it forward. Not gently, but forcefully. Not someday. Now. You think boldness is reserved for the healed, for the whole, for the ones who never questioned. But I use the ones who limp. I speak through the ones who still wrestle. I shine through the ones who are still learning how to carry my name without flinching. Child, your hesitation doesn't disqualify you. It reveals just how weighty this mantle truly is. You are not weak for feeling the magnitude of what I've placed inside you. You're awake. You're aware. You're carrying a holy burden, and that's not a curse. That's a calling. The ache in your bones, the unrest in your spirit, that's not anxiety. That's alignment. That's your destiny stretching inside of you, groaning to be born. You can't unfeel it because you were born for it. Stop calling yourself unworthy when I've already called you unstoppable. Stop trying to fix what I've already forgiven. The enemy keeps pointing to your history, but I've already rewritten your legacy. The world keeps labeling you based on where you've been, but I've marked you according to where you're going. You're not the sum of your missteps. You're the proof of my mercy. And now I'm surrounding you with new wind, divine momentum, unseen help. You may feel alone, but I've mobilized heaven behind your voice. The very atmosphere is shifting to make room for what I'm releasing through your life. Doors are trembling under the pressure of your obedience. Systems are cracking under the weight of your purity. Even the silence is starting to vibrate with the sound of breakthrough. I didn't train you in the fire just to see you burn out. I trained you so you could burn through fear, burn through cycles, burn through limitation. You carry a holy combustion inside your soul, and it's about to erupt, not for performance, but for purpose, not for applause, but for awakening. You are the spark I chose for this moment in history. So speak, even if your voice trembles. Move, even if your knees shake. The earth doesn't respond to perfection, it responds to permission. And I'm giving you mine. I'm not just sending you, I'm going with you. I'm not just commanding you, I'm covering you. I'm not asking you to fake strength, I'm asking you to release what's already alive within you. I know, it's felt like too much, too fast, too costly. But child, the truth is, you were never made to live at half capacity. You were never meant to drip with calling, you were made to overflow with it. That's why everything else has felt so frustrating lately. It's not because you're failing. It's because your spirit refuses to settle. Because I've made you for more than survival. I've built you for impact. The atmosphere around you is shifting because your internal environment has been transformed. You're not just thinking differently, you're seeing differently. You're not just walking, you're carrying thunder in your steps. You're not just praying, you're piercing through dimensions. You've been ignited by something this world didn't give, and now it can't unlight you. So don't look back. Don't turn down the volume of heaven to match the comfort of the crowd. Let them be unsettled. Let them stare. Let them talk. You weren't made for consensus. You were made for clarity. And clarity is costly. You were made to carry authority that makes the atmosphere flinch before you even speak. That's why hell hates your rising.